or Scout Frost absolutely has a dip in.
Yes, he does.
There's no doubt he's dipping.
Breaking Benjamin. And 3 Days Grace. Live. September 23rd at Casey Center. With special guest Return to Dust. Get tickets now at HighVTips.com. Laser 103.3 presents Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace.
Hi, I'm Scott Edwards, owner of Plaza RV. We're a locally owned full-service RV dealer, and we want to earn your business. We will do that by providing top-of-the-line personal service that big box dealers just can't offer. Service that goes well beyond the initial sale. We care about Central Iowans because we are Central Iowans. Give us a chance to sell you a brand new travel trailer or fifth wheel today. We promise you won't regret it. Shop local, shop Plaza RV.
Murph and Andy, talking sports and more, exclusively on Iowa Everywhere. Driven by Ramsey Subaru of Des Moines. From the Channel Seed Studios, here are Keith Murphy and Andy Fales.
Inaccurate. Here are Keith Murphy and Andrew Downs. Hello,
You're
AD.
damn right. How you doing, Murph?
I'm doing great. Happy Monday to you.
Yeah, same to you.
Andy's gone.
Still.
Has anybody heard from him? I guess not. It's not even possible in the Boundary Waters, right?
No, it's like we found the one place where you can go and not, I guess he found the one place where you can go and not have to do the podcast because there's like no electricity even, let alone Wi-Fi.
He's going to come back refreshed, although I have mild concerns about how sick he was when he left. I don't think there's a lot of medical attention out there in the woods.
Nope.
So hopefully he's doing okay.
Let's hope that lake air, that river air kind of gets it out of him.
AD, we got a great Saturday coming up. We got number 11, Indiana.
Quite a jump.
At Iowa, 2:30. Good spot for a game. Indiana looks so good. Iowa had you melting down in the first half. More of that later, but finished well. The offense finished well, and Iowa wins by 10 at Rutgers. And then at night, Arizona, Iowa State, battle of unbeatens.
Big spot.
Early in the season, but big spot there too.
And you love that they're staggered, so you can watch both games.
Yes, and Eric Church, as it turns out. Thanks, Chris Williams. Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines sets the table for sports and more. Coming up, the Hawkeyes hang 38. Not a typo. Big Red, 28 straight. And bye week, Slide. All coming up from Guest House Tavern. Today's special, well, tomorrow's special. It's Tuesday. Kentucky Fried Tuesday. That is fried chicken and sides, half off select bourbon and whiskey pours. Why wait till Wednesday when you can have bourbon on Tuesday? For now, let's get the buzz.
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
All right, Logier Heating and Cooling, solutions for families in Des Moines for more than 100 years. Nostalgia Rewind. You ready?
Oh, yeah. Born ready.
Iowa at Rutgers. The game opened with an electric play from All-American return man Caden the Jet Weegan.
And the kickoff to Caden Weegan is taken 3 yards deep in the end zone, far side. He squirts across the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He's at midfield. Look out. One guy to beat. 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Touchdown, Iowa. Touchdown. Touchdown, Iowa special teams. Oh, check his time in the 100 there, baby. Just 102 yards.
Gary Dolphin on the call. Video from Iowa Athletics, courtesy of Learfield, the audio. And AD, that angle is the first time I realized that Weegan did zig and zag just a little bit. It looked like the most straight line kickoff return touchdown I've ever seen. Like he caught it and just did a 100-meter sprint.
Yeah, the return team just kicked the snot out of the Rutgers kick team. And like I know at one point in our text group, Matt Van Winkle had a screenshot of like 6 Rutgers guys just on their backs. It was like, man, I could have run that back, but I'm not quite as fast as the Jet Weegan.
So let's take people through your emotions.
Yeah.
So at this point, you're like, it's going to be easy.
Feeling pretty good. I will say that the 2003 Orange Bowl where CJ Jones returned the opening kick and Iowa lost, and then the 07 Super Bowl where my Bears returned the opening kick, Devin Hester, and they lost.
You've
that did
scars.
have me like, this has not been a good omen for my teams in the past. And then when Rutgers started scoring at ease, it was like, oh my God, here we go again.
There were 3 more touchdowns in the first quarter.
What?
Yeah.
Of an Iowa game?
What? Yes, it's true. 2 from Rutgers. And how are you feeling about that? I know the answer because I saw you couldn't keep it to yourself.
I couldn't. No, I couldn't. Iowa fans aren't conditioned to live through games like this, that we're not shootout fans. As much as we say we want this, when it actually comes, it's hard to recondition yourself, because when Iowa gives up multiple touchdown drives in a row, that usually means Ohio State's about to put 55 on you.
Right.
Right. Teams like Rutgers don't do this to Iowa. And so when Rutgers is doing it, you're like, oh man, this is going to be a terrible night. Iowa's offense can't keep up with a team doing this to its defense.
Yeah, this isn't the Rose Bowl. This isn't at Ohio State. How is Rutgers just marching down the field at will? And that seemed like a bad sign. But then Kamari Moulton ties the game at 14.
One running back, Moulton. He's going to come on the draw. Straight down the gut. Over the goal line. Touchdown. Touchdown, Kamari Moulton. 14-13, Rutgers. Point after try coming up.
So
good to have him back.
Scored another touchdown. Yeah, he played well. Second quarter. So it's tied at 21 at halftime. Now, I'm in the booth at Ames High School where we're about to go to a continuous clock there, which is the one thing you're hoping to avoid. You just don't want a blowout.
Right.
And not feeling like we're probably adding a lot of viewers as we go here with Iowa 21-21 at the half, but our game ends up being 53-0. So we're looking in at this.
I did at one point because you were kind of, making jokes on Friday about, oh, I know you're going to be watching our game over at Ames, Andrew.
Yeah.
So I pulled it up on my phone on Hulu, and I tried to take a screenshot to text to you, but apparently you can't screenshot like live TV on Hulu. It just was
Really?
a black screen. So I didn't want to text you just a black screen. So, but I did tune in. I didn't stay long. I'll be honest.
And you just never know. The Dowling SEP 4-time defending state champs. It was like 38-0 at the half.
Right, exactly. Which you would have thought that was an incredible game.
Yeah, it's crazy. So in the fourth quarter, Rutgers answered a Drew Stevens field goal with a touchdown as the Scarlet Knights take a 28-24 lead.
And that's really where it fell, because Gronowski had missed that open touchdown. They settled for the field goal, and then Rutgers, which Iowa had stopped Rutgers all third quarter. They had changed the defense, applied some pressure, and really changed the look of that game. And then Rutgers comes back and immediately goes on that long touchdown drive, and it was like, oh my God, that I don't think Iowa's offense can do this.
Yeah, you've been conditioned that way for many years, but Iowa needs someone to step up and make a play.
Mark with time. He's going to air it out. He's got Dayton Howard out there, and it's caught. Great catch by Dayton Howard inside the 15. Welcome to the party, young sophomore. Second down goal. Hawks need a touchdown. And here's a quarterback keeper. Touchdown, Gronowski. Touchdown, Iowa. And the Hawks regain the lead.
Yeah, that was a great play. One of the best we've seen, the pass play from the Iowa Hawkeyes in the passing game in years.
It was a really good throw, and then more than anything, Dayton Howard went up. He got both hands on that ball, and even though it was good coverage, he was able to come down with it. That's, the good throws have been dropped, and the bad throws have also been dropped. But that was the marriage of both, which Iowa really needed in that spot. And Dayton Howard came up huge there. Yeah,
he didn't let it come onto his pads where it can bounce off. And then also a little bit underrated. I was talking about this with Justin Surensey during the game the other night because, Justin was an All-American receiver at UNI. And that catching the ball and then rolling before you hit the ground so it doesn't run the risk of popping back up or them saying you trapped it. So he does a nice roll there to avoid that happening. And with a 4-point lead late, Iowa looked to the defense to make a stop.
Kellyak Manis in the short gun with a running back and 3 wideouts. He's going to be looking for one of those 6'5" guys. He's hit as he throws the ball. It's up in the air and intercepted. Up in the air and picked off. Gronowski up under center. and he's going to try and go in himself. He does. Touchdown, Gronowski. Touchdown, Iowa. And the Hawks extend the lead to 37-28.
So Iowa wins at 38-28. All AD's fears are not realized in this game because this is not an Iowa-like game. The defense just gives up 3 touchdown drives early, but then makes adjustments, comes back and plays well the rest of the game, or at least the second half in particular, to give Iowa a chance to win it with offense. But you don't hear that happening a lot, but they did. And the quarterback made plays. He wasn't perfect, especially passing the ball, but this dude is a threat with his legs, man. Gronowski, 3 touchdown rushes.
And his confidence is growing and growing. You can see that, but you're exactly right. The way he runs, I was listening to 2 guys this morning, and, Hassel thinks you go back, Ricky Stanzi, maybe even all the way back to Brad Banks, since you've had a quarterback at Iowa with this kind of mobility, this kind of physicality. CJ Beathard was able to run the ball when needed, but he was never this kind of a runner. And Mark Gronowski really adds an element to this offense, different than Brendan Sullivan did last year, even, where you had to keep an eye on him, but you knew he wasn't a threat to throw it deep. Gronowski has kind of all the tools. And as you said, it's not perfect. He's not going to win the Heisman. He's still got some issues he needs to work out and get some more help from his receivers. But I thought the Tim Lester game plan was great. And yeah, that Gronowski running game is a real difference maker, especially as you get closer to the goal line. He's hard to stop.
That Albany game was bad. There were some really concerning throws from Mark Gronowski. And we tried to have the reminder of this guy didn't participate in spring ball, but he had also had surgery. And some guys are never the same after surgery. Sometimes your body doesn't respond, but he is back to making good throws, made some good ones, missed a couple, as most quarterbacks do, but he's still finding his timing, especially with the receivers. And he's talked openly about that. But it's a nice 10-point win, double-digit win, just as Hassel predicted.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, because I had done the same thing. I bet an alternate line, like Iowa, minus 6.5. And then all of a sudden, that all hit. And yeah, that's a pretty good Rutgers team too. Those receivers they had made some really, really nice catches. It's not a great team, but it's Iowa has steadily improved week to week now. And now you get a real challenge coming in next Saturday.
Yeah. And it wasn't a bad atmosphere either.
No.
We've seen some games at Rutgers where you're like, okay, both teams must be having trouble with the emotion of game day, but they said sold out. It didn't look completely sold out. You could get in there and get a seat, but it was a pretty nice turnout there for a team that came in undefeated. After the game, Kirk Ferentz talked about a hard-fought Big Ten win.
Happy that we could fight through some things. First half wasn't exactly by a script. But the guys kept pushing, kept digging. They believed in each other, and sometimes you got to win games like this too. We had to work for it tonight, which is a real credit to Rutgers. They came out on fire, basically offensively, and pretty much just went up and down the field.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big thing we kept talking about the entire game, was just responding. Kept preaching that on the sidelines. And, I mean, they'd go score, we'd go score. They'd go score, we'd go score. We just had to keep answering. The offense was in great rhythm today. And there's one thing that we kind of keep talking about is just being the reason. Sometimes the offense is going to have to be the reason sometimes this year.
That was probably one of the easiest kick returns he could get. And, I mean, that's all for the blockers, man. I knew instantly it was a touchdown right when you see the gap. And, I mean, it's not too often that you see a hole like that on a kick return. And so all credit goes out to them, man.
There you go. That is a season-defining win for fans in that I think if they go to Rutgers, I think if Iowa goes to Rutgers and loses that game, a lot of people like you lose your minds.
Yeah, that's,
I just feel like here comes a 6 or 7 win season.
Exactly. And when it looked like Iowa might lose that game, that's exactly what it did. I started looking through the rest of the schedule and, hey, can we get to 6-7 wins? And it started to get hard to find that. This Saturday is a big litmus test for how good Iowa can be. I think this Rutgers game was, are they going to kind of bottom out? Are things going to get real bad here? And it's great to see that that's not the case. They're clearly still improving and just have a big challenge now coming up here.
That is the Nostalgia Rewind presented by Barntown's Nostalgia THC Seltzers. All right, so this game coming up this week, it's on Peacock. So it's on Peacock Network, not the main NBC Sports Network, which will be really heavy on Ryder Cup all this weekend. So people need to know that. The call is going to be from Paul Burmeister, our good friend, great play-by-play guy, former Hawkeye quarterback. So you're in good hands there. And his analyst is Phil Simms, a guy who knows a few things about football, a Super Bowl champ, Super Bowl MVP. So that's all on the Peacock Network. And we're happy to welcome into Murph and Andy now, Paul Burmeister, who will be calling this game. And looks like he's at the command of a ship or something there, Paul. Are you in the command center at Burmeister Castle?
There is something about this camera setup that's making it seem actually deeper. It's usually more just square. So I don't know what's going on with the high-tech shot that you guys are accessing here. But either way, Keith, it's great to see you, man. Always good to see you.
It's good to see you, especially I know you're safe in that bunker there. Looks like it's not only a man cave, but a bomb shelter. So you got everything you need down there. So I'm excited that you're calling this game that just got bigger after Indiana looked so impressive against number 9 Illinois. But you're calling it with Phil Simms. How do they pair the two of you together, and how long have you known Phil?
So Phil has a long relationship with NBC. I mean, we all know him best, I think, TV-wise from his time at CBS. I mean, he was the number one NFL guy for over 2 decades. But in the mid-'90s, when NBC had the NFL package before it went away for a while for us, I mean, he was the main guy, right? Pretty much right when he was off the field. So he has a lot of relationships and history with some people who are still at NBC. So we ended up with some games midsummer that were available. And there's a real good relationship right now with Chris Simms, his son at NBC, because of his podcast. So I've done some games with Chris. I'll do some more with Chris. I've done 2 with Phil, and going to do one again in Iowa City. And I'm super excited to take him back home. I think everybody there that gets to interact with him is really going to like him.
Now, you know football, of course. You are a Hawkeye quarterback. You've been calling games for a long time. But how is it to pick the brain of someone with Phil Simms's credentials?
It's actually really easy, Keith. I mean, I say this to everybody that I've talked to about coming back home. I hope you get a chance to be around him, because he, as much as anybody I've been around who loves ball, he will talk football with anybody. I mean, he doesn't really even have to know you, and you can spend a half hour with him. He just loves to talk it that much. In fact, really interesting, Keith, if you'll just indulge me here for a few minutes. The way I met him, I used to do a lot of the pre-draft programming at NFL Network back in the day. And one of my analysts was Michael Lombardi, who's now the GM for Bill Belichick down in North Carolina. But Mike and Phil have had a relationship for a long time. And Mike, during commercials back in the day, would be like, hey, Phil says you got this right. Phil says you got this wrong. Phil agrees with you on this. And after about a month of that, I said, why don't you just have Phil call me? And I can talk to Phil. And deep down, I just want to have a conversation with Phil Simms. So we were doing a show from the Combine in Indy, and Phil actually called me during a break. And I just started chatting ball with him. He knew about all the quarterbacks. He's like, who's throwing right now? And I said, it's Nick Foles. He goes, what do you see? Tell me what you see. So I kind of explained what he was doing and what I liked or didn't like. And he's like, you kind of know what you're talking about. He goes, tell you what, why don't you come on out to the house? Just come out to the house some weekend. I'll show you what I teach all the guys. Because Phil works with a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of high-level quarterbacks. He goes, I'll show you everything that I show them. I'm like, be careful, Phil, because I will actually show up at your house. I've known him for about 5 minutes.
Right. This is quite an invitation.
Yeah. He goes, come on out. I'll have my driver come get you and just come over to the house for a weekend. I'm like, okay. So I go home and I tell Annie, I'm like, I'm going to go to North Jersey. I'm going to fly to Newark Airport and just hang out with Phil Simms for the weekend. She's like, okay. So I get to the airport. His driver comes to get me. I get to his house and I had this moment. I'm like, this is kind of weird. I don't really know this guy. It's Phil Simms' house. Knock on the door and I hear, come on in. So I go in. Phil's like, throw your bags upstairs. Come on in the kitchen. So we just hung out for the weekend. He took me out in the backyard, and I bet we threw for 2 or 3 hours, Keith. He completely retaught my entire mechanic base. Keep in mind, I was like 42 years old at this point. So I was just happy to not get injured. But Phil spent time with me throwing the ball like I was getting ready to try out for the NFL. And he and I have had a nice relationship since that weekend. And it's just been a thrill to be in the booth with him. He's a lot of fun.
That's a great story. And do you want to go back and redo your college career now that you learned these new mechanics from Phil Simms?
I tell you what, Keith, with all respect to all the good coaches I had at Iowa, like I learned more in those 2 hours about throwing the ball. Like he seriously, like he gave me a new motion. Like I'd always step forward and thrown over the top. It feels like, no, you're doing it all wrong. He's like, step forward and lean back. And I don't want to see you over the top anymore. I want to see it down here. So I was like stepping forward, leaning back and side arming it. It took me about an hour to get used to it, but I started really humming the ball. Again, I'm in my early 40s. And Phil was so excited for him. He's like, you feel that? You feel that? You feel like you could just drop back and just show your receivers who's boss? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm into it. So, I would love to go back if it was flag, Keith. I don't think I could take the beating anymore.
You didn't call the Barnstormers like, hey, you need a guy in his. I'm actually, at that time, you would have been younger than Brady was when he was still playing.
It's true.
Yeah.
I think I went back to Phil's kitchen, iced down, and just went home with a huge smile on my face.
So learning that from Phil Simms, has it changed the way you watch quarterbacks when you're calling a game?
Absolutely. It's been one of the things, and I would say, Keith, it probably changes the way I watch quarterbacks more when I'm not calling a game. Because when I'm calling a game, you've done play-by-play before. I mean, there's so many things I'm thinking about. I'm talking to the producer. I'm working with my stats guy, my spotter. I don't really get to focus in on the quarterback that much. I'm kind of thinking about the entire broadcast. But when I'm at home watching 100%, like my time at NFL Network with Phil at the top of the list with that weekend kind of leading the way, I got to be around a lot of people who know a lot more about it than I do. That absolutely changed the way I watch, and it kind of makes it more fun to nerd out with all the quarterback stuff.
So Paul Burmeister and Phil Simms will be on the call on Peacock for the afternoon Indiana at Iowa game. And Paul, I know you're probably really early in your prep if you even gotten into it at all. But how much did what you see from Indiana get your attention? They're blowing out a top 10 at the time Illinois team.
It actually worked out pretty well for me, Keith, because I had a game at Wisconsin early in the day. So I was flying back in the evening and got to see most of that game. And I had Illinois in week 1. And I mean, I guess jury's out if they're really a top 10 team, but they're a good football team. That is a team that's going to win a lot of games. I don't remember seeing a game where a top 20 team got dismantled like that. I mean,
No.
I think I had my mouth open on the plane the entire time watching. It was relentless. I've not seen a team attack like that on the front seven and then execute like that on offense. They were at a completely different speed and different level. So I was thoroughly impressed. And I think for the broadcast standpoint, I'm just glad that we've got that kind of energy coming to the game, because that's what we want. I mean, you want a full house, you want an energetic crowd, and you want ranked teams. So we're going to have a lot of that this weekend.
So if you're a Hawkeye fan, are you more concerned about how good Indiana looked at Illinois, or do you feel like maybe you're getting them in a good spot here at Kinnick Stadium, because how can they possibly be as good as the Hoosiers were against Illinois?
Yeah, I mean, maybe that is going to be their signature performance, but I mean, to me, that's a top 10 team. And everybody was wondering about, Indiana and could they do it again? Well, I mean, in all caps with exclamation points, it looks like yes. That quarterback is really, really fun to watch, unless you're someone who, is an Iowa Hawkeye fan. You might be a little worried about him this weekend. But I don't think there's going to be a good time to catch Indiana this year. I think they are really, really good. But again, from a broadcast standpoint, I'm excited to have that kind of talent and that kind of quarterback on our air.
The two quarterbacks early in your research here, what have you seen from Mendoza and Gronowski?
I had Indiana last year, Keith, late in the season when everybody knew that they were really, really good. I think it was in East Lansing. And I thought Rourke was terrific. He did what they asked. He was pinpoint. He was decisive. Mendoza is all those things, but he can move better. and he is a first-round talent in terms of throwing the ball. I thought Rourke was a draftable kid. He got drafted by the Niners. Hope he has a nice career. Mendoza is a first-round kind of talent. Now, they don't always play that way every Saturday, and a good defense can make him not look that way. So we'll see what happens on Saturday. But I'm super impressed with him. As far as what Iowa is doing at quarterback, it seems to be catching. Week one, maybe people were like, where's this going? But I think Tim Lester and Gronowski now have a really good relationship together. It looks that way. They're finding a rhythm where he can be, I'd say, efficient as a passer and effective as a runner. With the special teams they have and the defense they have, it's a good combo. So I think that's a work in progress that is definitely arrow up right now.
Paul Burmeister is with us here. He's calling the game, the Indiana-Iowa game coming up Saturday on Peacock. And Paul, how much of an impact did it have on Gronowski and his new receivers at Iowa that Gronowski's coming off surgery and could not participate in spring drills? How much would that impact the early part of this season where he looked pretty shaky but seems to be gaining confidence and chemistry?
Yeah, I think that's part of it being I go back to what I said about the first observation. People may have wondered, how far along is this going to be? But it's getting better every week. And from what I saw, I'm not seeing the entire game. From what I saw Friday at Rutgers, it looks like he had his best game and Iowa's offense had his best game. So I think you can wonder how much, did the Iowa passing game lose in terms of effectiveness by not having him around during the spring. But I think more in the here and now, you can watch each week and say, okay, I see the experience. I see the toughness. I see a good relationship between he and the offensive coordinator and see it getting better and better each week. And I would think, just as a football fan, to me, that would stand out more than wondering what he didn't get because he wasn't around with that injury in the spring.
Yeah, he is rushed for several touchdowns, 3 in the past game. When you were at Iowa, what was your high for rushing touchdowns in one game?
I think I might have. Now, these are quarterback sneak type plays, Keith, but they do count as rushing. I think I might have had a couple in one game, but I'm pretty sure I had negative on my rushing average, Keith.
Right, for your career?
Yeah, that would be my guess. Maybe 3 or 4 rushing touchdowns and negative 2 yards per rush is probably somewhere in the right vicinity.
We also have a good storyline here, just in the contrast of coaching personalities between Cignetti and Ferentz. I know you know Kirk Ferentz really well. How well do you know Cignetti, and what do you think of him?
Yeah, I only had him that one time last year, Keith. And at that point, all I knew was the reputation and, what you see in the press conferences. And I remember going into that Zoom meeting with him wondering how this is going to go. I had zero idea. He was terrific. He's not like smiles and laughs, but he engages, he listens, gives you thoughtful answers, wasn't hurried. I came away from that really impressed and kind of relieved that this is a guy who's happy to interact with you. He understands the job that we're doing, and he plays his role in that really well.
So Kirk Ferentz is now the winningest coach in Big Ten history, 27 years at Iowa. How do you think he'll be remembered?
I think for steadiness. At least I hope so. And I think that's true to Kirk's personality. He's a guy, pick a season, one of the many, many winning seasons, maybe one of the double-digit win seasons, or one of the seasons that didn't go that well. And think about how Kirk presented himself to the media, how he interacted, how he led on the sideline. Pretty similar. It's a guy who hasn't wavered much. And I think for Iowa fans, the awesome part of that is he's won a lot and won most of the time. But it's not somebody who's been up and down, whose opinions or style has changed. Kirk is very steady. And I think in an Iowa way, people really appreciate that. So the wins, yes, hopefully the fans are appreciative of that. The consistency of being above 500, you don't have to look around the country too long to see it. It doesn't work that way everywhere. But I would say, hopefully, more than anything, a genuine, hardworking person who you knew what you were going to get.
Paul, I know you are not on Iowa State's schedule. At least I don't think you are, as far as calling a game or anything with NBC Sports. But you know a lot of people in the business. What's the reputation out there at NBC Sports and beyond, the Phil Simses of the world, for Matt Campbell as a head coach 10 years in at Iowa State, and for Rocco Becht as an NFL prospect?
I've actually had really good conversations with Phil about Rocco Becht. He knows his dad real well. And Phil, hopefully you and I have talked offline. Hopefully Phil can join you at some point this week, and he'd be happy to talk about Rocco. But he loves watching him play, thinks he's really good. I've enjoyed watching him as well. At first you think he's just a tough gamer, and isn't this a cool story? But he's actually a really good quarterback too, who I think has a chance to do it at the next level. Matt Campbell enjoys a fantastic reputation. I've never met him. I've never worked with him. I do know that historically it's been tough to maintain success in Iowa State, and he's been able to do that really, really well. The respect he's earned in the football world is, I don't want to say second to none, because there are coaches who are probably above that, but people think the world of him, and I think Iowa State's fortunate to have him.
Well, Paul, this has been so much fun talking to you. We'll hope to have Phil Simms on this week. That would be awesome for our viewers and listeners. I know they're bringing, I believe, a stack of papers to you that you need to sign there at your big desk. So we have to let you go so you can start to get to business there at home.
It's actually just it's Iowa's roster. I've got right here. I've got Kurt Cignetti's transcript from today, his press conference. So this is boring football-y stuff that this very nice system you're using is making it look more important than it really is.
It looks really important. Hey, you're one of the good guys, Paul. Thank you so much, and I'm glad you're on the call. It's just one more reason to get excited about this weekend.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be home, to be on the call for this one too, Keith. I appreciate you having me on. Good to see you.
That's Paul Burmeister of NBC Sports. Man, always enjoy talking to Paul. Let's get a quickie poll from WCI Pools and Spas in Ames and Urbandale.
Do you have Peacock streaming? Yes or no?
I've got it.
Yeah, same.
I've kept it since basketball season a couple of years ago, when you started to need it for Hawkeye men's and women's basketball games. We've stayed with it. I've actually found Peacock strong of some of the streaming services. They got some good stuff on there. So people are going to need it. Again, just to remind you, sometimes people get confused. They see the NBC logo and they think the game is on like 13 locally. It's Peacock. A lot of Ryder Cup on NBC, which is also awesome. That's coming up this weekend. But I didn't realize that Iowa and Indiana haven't played since 2021.
I hadn't either. It's one of those weird, these giant conferences now, and and this is not your daddy's Indiana program that's coming into Iowa City. That was a great interview with Paul. That was a lot of fun to hear. He's such a cool guy.
He is.
I did though look, and his senior season he scored 3 rushing touchdowns, only one in each game. His total rushing yards as a quarterback at Iowa is about negative 200.
Gee, so you had to fact check that?
It's only like minus 2.8 yards per game. He started a lot of games.
He did. He took a lot of sacks if he's minus 200.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, you got to be careful when you're dealing with a guy that has a room like that with a desk like that.
Like you said, it seemed like he was on the bow of a ship.
So Peacock streaming, more have it than don't, at least among our viewers and listeners. All right, that was fun. High or low since our last show?
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
All right, AD, Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax, keeping us headed toward a happy retirement. We appreciate it. Thank you, Wealth Charter. Let's get to the high or low. I'll start. My high was Saturday in Lincoln, Nebraska. Jenny and I went over there to see Nebraska and Michigan. Big game, big spot, biggest Cornhusker game in years. Everybody there was feeling really good. If you're watching, it's me with Troy Dannon. He's the AD. A lot of people here know and like Troy. He was with the girls' union for a long time. He was UNI's AD, went to Tulane. He's now at Nebraska, where that is a big job. And it was Troy and his wife, Amy. They're so nice. They invited Jenny and I to come over there and see a game. I've been there many times working, never been there as a fan. Completely different perspective when you're not working.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
that was cool.
That was a big atmosphere too.
Oh
I know
gosh.
they wanted that game. They ranked Michigan team in house. Like, I've never been to a game over there. That's the exact kind of game I would like to go to.
Completely sold out. The buzz was incredible. Great weather day. Everything is looking good for Nebraska. The 1995 national champs are leading the Cornhuskers, or so we thought, out of the tunnel. Now, the 95 champs, Tommy Frazier and crew, they do come out of the tunnel first, and everybody's been told that was going to happen. So, of course, they're really excited to see those guys. That's been 30 years now, but the 95 champs are there. But then the surprise is revealed, and it's the champ leading Nebraska out. That is just a great entrance, and the tunnel walk and all of that. The place goes bonkers for Bud Crawford. Like, there is nothing we could tell our kids they were more excited about than we saw Bud Crawford. Like, Terrence Crawford, the champ, 42-0. Just, they went nuts. But then the game begins, and it's back and forth, and includes a Hail Mary at the end of the first half that Nebraska completes to tie the game. And you think, okay, this could be the day Nebraska finally turns a corner. Not the corner back to national championships, but the corner to winning seasons and maybe being in the conversation for the Big Ten championship game toward the end. But then Michigan just goes out and gashes that black shirt defense.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
3 long runs.
Oh, yeah, like a little bit like the Weegan kick return, where there's not even a bunch of jukes or moves or broken tackles, just hole and then just turbo.
And then,
right
as that game gets late, I've now become conditioned to expect Nebraska to lose close games. And
yep,
that's what they do.
And that's something you have to get over. That is a culture thing. Iowa State was in that space for a long time. You thought Iowa State will miss the late field goal. The field goal will get blocked. They'll go for 2 and won't complete it. They're just it's how we got to the kick to the stones expression that we used to have. It's like, how is Iowa State going to break the hearts of its fans? Now the Cyclones have won 9 of their past 10 one-score games. That's incredible. So that's the opposite of that. That's finding a way to win. That's believing you're going to win. And sometimes it doesn't even make sense in a program because, this Nebraska team isn't the Nebraska team from 5 years ago, but sometimes that can seep in, and just, you got to get to a place where you believe you're going to win. And that's not there in Nebraska. Matt Rule is 4-11 in one-score games.
Jeez.
And the chance to get it done there this week did not happen. Michigan wins 30-27. And it is flabbergasting that Nebraska has lost 28 straight to top 25 teams. That does not seem possible.
It really doesn't, because they've been a bad team several of the seasons, but they haven't been terrible, and they have a lot of talent. They have all the intangible things that you could hope for in a football program. They have great facilities. They're still getting good talent. And you're right. It's this mental thing. It's this culture thing now that has seeped in. And for whatever reason, they don't believe they're going to win games like that. I don't think the fans, I don't know what the stadium was like as Michigan started to kind of, not pull away, but look like they were going to win that game. But it's a really bizarre place to be for Nebraska, where they
It
just
is.
can't get over the hump. And we've talked for years about Nebraska's close, or they keep saying, "Hey, we're close, we're close." Well, you're only close if you actually win a couple of these games. You're not really close if you can't ever win one, and they've only got a few more chances left this season.
The major college teams, this is one of the longest streaks, droughts against top 25 teams. It's 9 years. For some context there, AD, Iowa State in that time, in that space, has beaten 13 top 25 teams. Since Nebraska last beat Oregon in 2016, when Oregon was ranked somewhere in the 20s. It's been that long.
My God.
I mean, Iowa has lost 10 straight to top 25 teams, and that seems like forever, but that's 2021. It's not going back to 2016. And to your point about everything they have, now there's some things that have changed, and it's going to be hard to ever go back. Getting in this NIL era, money is probably the one way you can compete with recruits. I mean, look at Michigan's true freshman quarterback, Underwood. He was committed to LSU, and then Portnoy and somebody else came in with a bag of money, and now he's Michigan's quarterback, and he's electric. He's really good, and he's still learning on the job. But at Nebraska, I was blown away. Troy was nice enough to take me around and show me all the upgraded facilities. There is so much money there because it's not the number one sports passion in Nebraska. It's the number one passion, period.
Yes.
I mean, it's everything in that state. And the facilities behind the scenes, the things they have for the players, the amenities, the atmosphere on game day. Yes, we've had fun with Nebraska over the years, but that's an awesome atmosphere. And the fans are completely engaged and want to win in the worst way. And they just haven't been able to get there.
And like you said, we have fun with Nebraska a lot, and the fan base especially. But what a credit to that fan base that they're still engaged at that level after this extended period of losing.
Yeah, they've pretended to be sold out a few times when they weren't actually sold out, but 400 and something straight sellouts, they say there. And the Dylan Raiola thing is a little weird.
Yeah,
like I just feel like somebody who cares about him needs to call him aside and say this. The same exact gestures and signs as it's going a little bit beyond. I mean, this might be more than I did pretending to be Johnny Bench when I was 7. I mean, it's a lot. Now, some people in Nebraska, tongue in cheek, would tell us like it's a volleyball school. And then Troy and Amy took us over to the volleyball game where they've had a bunch of sellouts. That's incredible. Like, they're the number one ranked team in America. They've got all those national championships. So we watched Nebraska sweep Arizona. My goodness. That's how you get people to care about volleyball. Create an atmosphere like that. They're going to add seats in there at some point because they have a waiting list for
That's
volleyball.
really cool. That's really cool to embrace any sport like that. Let alone, women's volleyball where, they're the best team in the country. It's cool to have that, especially since they don't have football anymore.
Yeah. Get one right in there. And if you have the money to have a separate arena, because that's not Pinnacle where the men's basketball team plays. So they play,
right.
They have a place for wrestling and volleyball that's, I don't know, 9 or 10,000, but it doesn't ever look as good to have to move to half your arena or to have your arena mostly empty. So when you can play those smaller sports, like some cities in America have done when they build a soccer complex, they make it 20 to 30,000 instead of 60 or 70 and have it look empty. You create a better atmosphere. And it was a really good atmosphere there. So also, Jenny kind of snuck one over on people. This is not a Nebraska outfit.
I thought, when I saw pictures of this on social media, I was like, oh, Jenny's going full Husker. And then nope.
I mean,
Channel
she's
13.
being respectful.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're guests there, so you don't want to be a jerk.
Yeah, you're not wearing Michigan stuff.
Yeah, don't do that. But we don't want to be one of those Hawkeye fans that shows up at Iowa State games.
When I was not even playing.
When I was not even in the state. But Chris Barton in Newton had these jerseys made for Justin Surrency and me when we had the Newton game on Football Friday primetime. It says Channel 13, says Murphy on the back. There's a Made Right patch on that jersey. and it looks like a Nebraska jersey. And I don't know where Jenny got these candy cane pants and red and white shoes.
They're pretty sweet.
Yeah, although you do learn, if you can avoid it, don't be with the AD and walk around in Nikes there. It's an Adidas school. So, yeah.
That's something I wouldn't have thought about.
Yeah, didn't think that one out. But anyway, we had a wonderful day. Nothing about it surprised me. Like some people are like, well, do you view Nebraska differently now? I was like, no, fans are the same everywhere.
Yeah.
Like Hawkeye fans think, Cyclone fans are awful.
They're the worst.
There's some Cyclone fans that think that of Hawkeye fans. Both fan bases unite to think that Nebraska fans suck, but mostly fans are the same everywhere.
And I've heard time and time again that that is one of the atmospheres you go
It's
to
great.
as a visiting fan, and everybody treats you well. You don't feel it's not like Philadelphia where you feel unsafe or something like that. And how can you not fall in love with that many people being that loud and then watching them lose?
And I was happy for Troy Dannon and his wife Amy. First of all, we appreciate so much. They rolled out the red carpet. That was very nice. But he's just a good guy. He's humble beginnings, and is just at the top of his profession now, making crazy money and having private jets take him to Bud Crawford's fight at Allegiant Stadium and stuff like that. And it won't change who he is at all. He's a good guy, and it was a nice day. You had a nice day.
Yeah. Yesterday, I got to spend a day at the Blank Park Zoo. My son Charlie here, he loves penguins.
He's obsessed with penguins.
He's obsessed
isn't he?
with penguins. He's even, if you can even see, he's got a shirt on about penguins. We got to meet a penguin when we were down in Mississippi this spring at an aquarium. Well, last year for his birthday, he raised enough money. That's all he asked for his birthday was people to donate so he could raise enough money to adopt a penguin at the Blank Park Zoo. And yesterday they had an event where all the adoptive parents were invited for a lunch and to roam around the zoo and have some games and stuff like that. And so, yeah, we got to go to the zoo. He got to see his name up on the adopt an animal chart there. And then both kids got to feed the giraffe. And so, yeah, there's my kids with the giraffe. And the Blank Park Zoo just does it so well. We go there a few times a year, and every time we do, there's new things. You think the zoo could be the same over and over. It gets repetitive, but they have this dino exhibit right now. So there's all these big animatronic dinosaurs all over the place, and that was a lot of fun. And so yeah, we had a good day at the zoo.
Nice. And has Charlie seen Penguin Lessons yet?
He has not yet. No.
Okay.
But
so a movie on Netflix. It's good. It's based on a true story about how a guy is a teacher, a professor is kind of
with Steve Coogan, right?
Yeah, and Steve Coogan plays the professor who's
I remember Mr.
kind of
Movie
given
liked
up for
that
reasons
movie.
that become clear. He's kind of a miserable person, and we learn why. But he rescues this penguin, and the penguin won't leave him alone and just keeps following him. And the penguin slowly teaches him some life lessons. It's based on a book and a true story that actually happened, and it's a feel-good story. It takes some liberties with the true story, but
the only
you'll
hesitation I have is we read Mr. Popper's Penguins, and he's like, "Oh, so we can get a penguin."
Ooh,
That's a thing that people do. People get pet penguins, and it's no, I don't think that's a thing people do.
Oh, yeah. I think you can get out of this without getting a
Probably
penguin.
so.
By the way, when you were there, do penguins smell? I mean, do they have a distinct odor or anything? Because it comes up in penguin lessons quite
You're
a
in
bit.
a zoo, and so there's a lot of smells.
Yeah,
so
that's
I
true.
I didn't notice any specific penguin smell.
Penguin
but
smell. Okay.
I bet if one's in your house, you could get.
You would
whiff of
know.
it. Yeah.
Interact on YouTube, on X. It's Murph_Andy. The email is Murph_Andy@iowaeverywhere.com. Someone is asking about, Evan is asking, does Iowa Everywhere have an email for fans to reach out with an idea? There you go. Yes, send it to us. AD will get it to the right person. Murph_Andy@iowaeverywhere.com. And it is all powered by the Cellular Advantage. Now, this is my guy, Deshaun, at the Urbandale Cellular Advantage. He set me up with that phone he's holding there, the new iPhone
That orange
17
one.
Pro in orange. And Deshaun is good at his job. So I really appreciate him. He was patient with me. with some of my questions and some of the things I should have already known. And he made it a good experience, and I appreciate that. And again, not getting the orange because it's the cool new color, getting it because I think it's going to grab my eye and keep me from leaving at places. I've had some close calls. I've had to dive back into an Uber before.
And it's nice, my wife and I for a while both had black cases on our iPhones, and you get real confused if you have the same phone as your spouse. So it's nice to have the orange. I'm sure Jenny has a different color.
Oh yeah, hers is
probably red and white striped.
Yeah, it is now. Yeah, now it's just a big N. Just a big N. Some more hot topics. Iowa State against Arizona coming up Saturday night under the lights. The Cyclones touchdown favorites last I saw. The line has gone 6-7. Both teams are undefeated. It's what you want. Wildcats coming in. But Kyle Conrady is out. Mm-hmm. And I heard Chris Williams say this morning on Two Guys, maybe for a while. I mean, that guy's in the conversation of early season MVP with a 63-yard field goal in the game winner against Iowa.
Talk about living in a bizarro world. Iowa's offense is outscoring people. Iowa State is worried that their kicker is hurt. I mean, this is
that's a good point.
Wild.
Yeah, it used to be an opportunity like, oh, the kicker's hurt. This is good. Maybe this other guy can make a clutch field goal.
Right.
But yeah, Conrady has flipped that script. When he did miss against Arkansas State, was it an extra point he missed or a field goal? But anyway, it was immediately like, is something wrong?
Yeah, right.
And it turns out, yes.
Yes,
something is wrong. Something's wrong with his hip. AD, question for you. The longest active college football winning streak by one coach at one program. What do you think it is?
Ooh.
Longest active winning streak, one coach, one program. A little bit of a trick question.
Yeah, I was gonna say because it's not Ohio State because they lost to Michigan. Ryan Day almost lost his job.
Right.
And then they went on to win the national championship.
Almost lost his job in a season that Ohio State won the national championship.
So it's got to be a team
you're spoiled Buckeye
didn't get
fans.
into the playoff, but won a bowl game last year. Man, I have no idea. It's certainly not Dabo Swinney. He had a rough weekend.
Yeah, he's 1-2, 1-3.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's Scott Frost at UCF.
Really?
16 straight.
Holy cow. Oh, because he was there. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the trick.
Yeah,
I was like, wait a minute. How long has he been?
Yeah, they hung the championship banners.
That's right. Remember, he got the ring stolen out of his garage and got all mad about it.
I still can't quite get my mind around how much he failed at Nebraska.
It's wild.
Like we all thought it would work. Not national championship level work, but not losing seasons and finding creative ways to lose to Iowa.
When he was just kind of a jerk the whole time too. Like he never endeared himself. I mean, he basically rode in as the former Nebraska quarterback and assumed that would carry him to success. And then, I mean, after he left, after he was let go, all of the stories that came out about his conduct and the way he treated people, it was like, oh yeah, no wonder this didn't work. And it's wild that it seems to work at UCF, or at least it did at one point. Should I say Central Florida? At Central Florida?
He doesn't want you saying Central Florida.
No, he doesn't.
He gets really upset about that. He wants everyone to say UCF.
That kind of seems like the MO for UCF. A little disrespected. People picking us last. Not having any confidence in several people on the coaching staff. We're not Central Florida, we're UCF.
Put respect on Central name. Central.
I think it fits with what UCF has been for a long time if we play with a little chip.
Well, UCF seems to, it doesn't make sense that he is a much better fit at UCF than he is at his alma mater. I mean, I don't even get it. UCF doesn't have anywhere near the facilities or resources or means that Nebraska has. Nebraska has everything you could possibly need. And at UCF, you're at best fourth in your own state.
Yeah, right. And I mean, it's a huge school, right? It's got like a giant student body. But yeah, exactly. You're an also ran in the Big 12. You're the fourth biggest program in your state. And it's just a weird, the whole Central Florida thing is a weird thing to me to focus on, to be upset about. And then if you are upset about it, don't tell everybody you're upset about it.
Worst thing you can do.
Absolutely. It's horns down all over again. Of course, everybody's going to call you Central Florida when they know it upsets you, when they know they can just poke you a little bit by just saying the full name of your school. That's the other thing. It's not, horns down is pretty disrespectful. Central Florida is the name of the school.
Yeah, and all that did was, like, horns down became T-shirts and banners and yelled, and that, all you did was raise the temperature with that. And the Big 12 made it worse at the time when, way back when Texas was in the Big 12. And you know this from having brothers. At some point, one of them taught you, or maybe you just learned through osmosis, man, you can't show that something gets to you. Like Colin was our youngest.
Yes.
And his brothers would pick on him. And when they found out something bothered him, well, there it is. Now they got you.
Exactly.
Now they're coming with that every day.
When, like Big Papa says, I kind of get it though. If people start referring to us as I-State, I'd be annoyed too. That's what it says on your helmets. That's what it says on the bridge when you walk into this. Like, I mean, it is though one of those things. You're exactly right. When you have brothers, you learn this quickly. If you want something to pass, if you want people to stop doing something, don't acknowledge it. The more you acknowledge it, the more it's going to keep happening.
AD, let's also find out, I'm going to look just to make sure I don't get this wrong. There are 6 undefeated teams left in the NFL. Can you name them?
No. No is the answer.
Who do you think it is?
I spent the day at the Blank Park Zoo yesterday, Murph, and then watching my Bears get
Your
a
Bears
big win.
aren't one of them.
They're
Bears
not.
aren't one of them.
No,
All right, who do we
Packers
have?
aren't one of them. Who we got? Are the Lions?
The Lions, no. Lions have lost.
Okay, let me start
3 in
really
the
thinking about
AFC,
this.
3 in the NFC, and I am fact-checking myself because I don't want to get this wrong.
Okay. The Bills won.
Bills are one.
The Bills won the other night.
Yeah, they came from way behind to beat the Ravens in that first game.
Oh, the other AFC team I know is the Colts because they punted for the first time.
They've punted once in their game so far. Incredible punt. There's one more, and it's the team that seems to underachieve each year, but now has a coach known to maybe paint outside the lines a little bit in college.
Oh, Harbaugh and the Chargers.
Chargers are undefeated.
Okay.
All right, so now we move over to the NFC.
NFC, the Eagles.
Correct. They keep doing that tush push.
My God.
By the way, it shouldn't be this controversial. Call it when they jump off sides.
That's the thing. I mean, I feel like the owners had an opportunity this offseason to outlaw this thing, to ban it and get rid of it forever. But if you're not going to do that,
at least make it.
Yeah, at least make it fair.
Following.
At least call them when they do illegal crap. It's crazy.
And I know in real time it can be a little challenging, more than we see on the replays, but they keep starting before the balls snap. You got to call that.
You have to call that.
That's one way we can get a real call of whether this needs to be banned or not. Just officiate the play.
It's crazy.
All right, so you got the Eagles.
I do know the Buccaneers because the way they won yesterday was absolutely insane.
Yeah, they came back and won. That was the Jets.
They're kicking the field goal to go ahead or whatever, and it gets blocked. Return for it. Will McDonald with a great play,
incredibly athletic play.
But then Baker Mayfield leads him right back into field goal position for the game-winning kick.
He's really doing well. And there's one more, and I just hope he's not watching, that you haven't been able to get this final team. I mean, they got a Cyclone hurt, they got a Hawkeye hurt, and they just keep winning.
Oh, the Niners, they keep winning.
Bang, bang, Niner gang.
Brock Purdy's system quarterback. They win even without him.
Some more NFL notes here. The Vikings will tell.
It's a joke.
Oh, yeah, I missed it. What'd you say?
I said Purdy's a system quarterback. Somebody will get pissed about that.
Yeah. It'll be Matt.
Yeah.
Vikings will tell J.J. McCarthy that his ankle is still injured. Just let him know, hey, JJ, my ankle's fine. Nope. No, it's still bothering you.
The NFC North is a weird division this year. I mean, I felt like after 2 weeks, it was like a very clear hierarchy, and then the Packers looked so bad yesterday. The Vikings look so good. The Bears look good. It's a weird division.
Yeah, it is a weird division. McCarthy, he goes out. They bring in Carson Wentz, who's played for like 12 teams in 8 years or something, and he leads them to just a beatdown of the Bengals. Browns upset the Packers. Didn't see that coming at all.
Not at all.
Your Bears reminded the Cowboys they're the Cowboys.
Absolutely.
Is that Caleb Williams' first 4-touchdown pass game? I think it is.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, and it was funny. There's a I don't remember the name, but there's a hot dog shop in Chicago that had tweeted, if Caleb Williams throws for 4 touchdowns against the Cowboys, everybody gets free hot dogs.
Bring on the dogs.
Bring on the hot dogs.
There it goes. Chiefs get their first win as the Giants stubbornly stick with Russell Wilson, who's already played his best game of the season.
Yeah.
He's not going to play like a game like that again. We want Dart chants went up at MetLife Stadium, Jackson Dart.
Yeah, it's no good.
And my favorite point of the game, did you see the Taylor cam with the Chiefs there? Did you see it? It was great. They put up Taylor cam, and some people started booing. They're like, oh, God, not more Taylor Swift just because Travis Kelce's here. And they go down with the camera, and you're waiting and waiting. They turn the corner, and there's Lawrence Taylor just smoking a cigar. The Taylor cam. 7 NFL games featured a game-winning score in the final 3 minutes. That's the most since the AFL-NFL merger in 1970. So if you felt like, God, this day is drunk.
Yeah.
It was.
A lot of blocked field goals. It was a really strange day in the NFL.
The Fever playing, and boy, the WNBA, NASCAR, you got to figure something out than playing against these NFL games unless you're trying to stay in anonymity to some degree. But the Fever keep winning. They are now in the semifinals, 1-1, up 1-0. And
I mean, they weren't supposed to win that first series against the Dream. That was a shock, and now they're up 1 game in the second series.
They have 5 players out for the season, including Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham, Ari McDonald, and they're still winning. Kelsey Mitchell was fantastic in that game. I think she scored 34 points, actually outplayed the MVP, Asia Wilson. Caitlin Clark, AD, I think we got to come together here at Iowa Everywhere and just help raise money to pay this fine she got this weekend.
Yeah.
She's transparent about it. The WNBA hit her with a $200 fine for criticizing officials on Instagram. Are you getting money out now?
What do I got? I got.
Do you
the
have
first
the
10.
full?
I got the first 10.
You got 10. So she needs $190. We got to help her. There's no way she's carrying around that kind of cash or has access to 200 bones. That's too strong. That's too strong.
How dumb. I mean, like, why? I get that they don't pay these women very much as far as salary, but if you're going to find somebody, at least make it a deterrent. 200. That would, if I was her, it would make me want to criticize the refs more.
Oh yeah, it's like I want to try to get $500 this time.
What do I have to do to get $1,000 fine?
What would it take to get? Because there have been some games where you should get $1,000 worth of fine for criticizing some of that bad officiating. Hey, a shout out to our friend Sam Burnaby. The Iowa Cubs announced today that Sam is stepping down as the general manager of the Iowa Cubs. He'll stay involved. He's going to ease into retirement. He has been with the iCubs since 1987.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And he's been the president and general manager a long time. He'll remain the president, but he'll step down as general manager. Randy Wayhofer, who's been the assistant GM since 2018. He's been with the iCubs for 18 years. Such a good guy. Just a nice guy. Nice guy. The Hof will take over as general manager. iCubs have always tried to do that, promote from within. People tend to stay there a long time, which is always a good sign for a company and a business when you have long-time employees that are loyal.
A few years ago, when the franchise was sold to Diamond Baseball Holdings, I think a big part of the fear was that a lot of this local control was going to go away. And when people like Sam step away, they'll bring in some corporate person to kind of take things over. And clearly that's not happening. So
Not
credit
happening.
to the entire organization.
Yeah. So Sam has been so good for the community, and he's just been, gosh, he's a fixture in the community. You go to an iCubs game, or not even an iCub, you can go to a concert at Principal Park, and Sam will be walking along, checking on people, asking how they're doing. He's always there, and he's been so important in the community. So wish him a very happy partial retirement. And now here's John Sears on RVTV, where the T stands for train, complaining about the wussification of college football.
They're going to wear helmets, John.
The boards better not be soft today. I don't want anybody wearing helmets.
So, yeah, that was for the black and white movie. But
And
they
had because you had in the actual thing it was like a silent movie, right? So you had to really
right.
amplify your gestures.
And Sears didn't even need a microphone. You could hear him in your own home. Got a couple of things today you're going to want to pay attention to. Confluence, the official beer of Murph and Andy. And tomorrow, Tuesday, at the Confluence Tap Room from 4 to 7 p.m., you buy a pitcher, you get a ticket to the original Oktoberfest, which is coming up this weekend, Friday and Saturday, at the District at Prairie Trail. So you buy a pitcher, you get a ticket. That's a $25 value.
That's a really good deal. It's a good beer, good place to have a beer. Go get a pitcher of good beer, and you get a $25 ticket to what's going to be a cool Oktoberfest up there at the Prairie Trail neighborhood. It's the one that had been in Waterworks forever.
Right.
And now we've got like 3 weekends of Oktoberfest in the city.
No one's complaining.
Nope.
So that ticket that you get, and by the way, we're going to have another offer like this coming up later in the show. But the ticket works Friday and Saturday, and it includes a mug and your first beer.
That's
so
cool.
Not first beer each day, but mug and first beer while supplies last. But they have a lot of tickets, so should be good. Let's get some more here with Andrew Downs.
But wait, there's more from Either Or Eatery and Patio.
Let's do it. Get a little more, powered by Either Or Eatery and Patio. I'm going to try to get over to Either Or tomorrow night. Scott Sipker and I are joining a bunch of the Iowa Everywhere people for the Breaking Benjamins concert over at KC Center that you've been hearing advertisements here on Iowa Everywhere. And I'm going to try to talk Scott into meeting me beforehand for a beer and a burger at Either Or.
He'll definitely get like
I don't think I'll have to twist
nostalgia drink or something.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know about the beer, but that's not Breaking Benjamins.
Yeah, it's it's a rock group. I know a handful of their songs.
Okay,
should be fun.
All right,
good time.
All right, yeah. It's by the way,
I'll report back.
It's gonna feel like summer today.
It is gonna feel like summer, but it's actually the official first day of fall.
Look at you,
the autumnal equinox. I don't know exactly what that means. I'm sure Scott does. Maybe that'll be Scott school on Friday.
I hope we don't have to find out Friday.
But yeah, this is the first day of fall. We have reached fall, and it doesn't feel like it at all.
No, it really doesn't. First day of fall. Okay, so I think that was a question a few weeks ago on Throwdowns.
Yeah,
I kind of cross over in September but this is now we're in it.
Yeah, officially again, but you're not going to be wearing hoodies or
Oh, not today.
Hot coffee, not today. I haven't looked at what the weather looks like the rest of the week, but
look at you in your Bears hat.
You like that?
Yeah, that's good.
Hey, and I got to celebrate Wisconsin's great football weekend with a spotted cow last night. It was a perfect weekend in the Downs household when it comes to football. The Hawkeyes won, the Jayhawks won Friday night, the Bears won yesterday, the Badgers lost to Maryland, and the Packers lost to the Browns.
Jeez, you did have a good weekend.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Yeah,
you don't get them like this very often, Murph, so you got to celebrate them when you do.
We're getting emails over at Sound Off to assemble the crap team for Wisconsin, but
don't do it, Matt.
We kind of have a rule. There has to actually be an opening before we can go on the
I haven't checked Twitter in a while.
All right.
We'll get to that coming up in Throwdowns, by the way. All right, the Iowa Cubs season ended yesterday. We talked about Sam Burnaby stepping down. But on Saturday night at Principal Park, a goose got loose on the field.
The goose is loose.
The goose was loose. It didn't look like it was too big of a problem. He or she ended up flying away unhurt. But I love when animals get loose on baseball fields. It's fun to see a squirrel running around. I'm sure it's not fun for the the players or the groundskeepers who have to pick up goose poop. But it's fun for us as fans.
It is, yeah. And I like it especially when the animal doesn't look scared, but looks like it's just really having fun taunting human beings.
When it's like, hey, it's a giant patch of grass. This is where I'm supposed to be. You're in my area here. We're right by a river, a big patch of grass. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be.
We were here first.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, 2 classic Christmas movies and their stars are coming to Waukee this winter. Vibrant Music Hall is hosting Christmas Vacation, hosted by Chevy Chase, a live conversation with Chevy Chase following a screening of one of the greatest Christmas movies of all time, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. This is Tuesday, December 2nd. And then 8 days later, Murph, a nostalgic night with Macaulay Culkin at Vibrant Music Hall. A conversation with the one and only Macaulay Culkin following a 35th anniversary screening of what is maybe my favorite Christmas movie of all time, Home Alone.
This looks to me like it'd be a blast, and I expect ticket demand for this to be strong.
Absolutely, yes.
These will sell out. First, I thought that was Joe Burrow. I was like, well, this is a tough segue. But we got to get Mr. Movie to that Christmas Vacation thing.
Yeah, you think? How do you think Chevy Chase, who's kind of a known...
He's a little prickly.
Yeah, a little prickly.
Yeah,
How do you think
prickly.
he'd take it if Mr. Movie, in the Q&A section, is like, hey, why'd you make this crappy movie? I don't know.
Well, Mr. Movie's wrong.
He
He's
is.
wrong on that one. That
Love
movie's
that
great.
Hey, here are a couple of fun stories from the Internet Hall of Fame on Twitter. A man threatened to sue a magazine for using his image in a story about why all hipsters look the same, only to find out that the image was of a completely different guy. And we all know at least one guy who looks just like this.
Yeah, we do. Well, that is funny. This guy the guy who sued thought it was him, but is actually a different guy.
You can't just use my picture.
You can't use my picture without my permission. Well, it's not you. Huh?
Oh, what? Looks
Yeah,
just like me.
this guy looks like he could be in the pork tornadoes.
I think he might be.
He might be.
And then here, in 1984, a teenager named Zach Brown appeared on the Wheel of Fortune, won $3,050. He spent all that money to buy a go-kart, and he went on to become the CEO of McLaren F1 Racing. And I did fact-check this, and it is true.
That seems made up.
It does seem made up,
Why
doesn't
can't we have a Scott school like this? That's great.
Plus, a $3,000 go-kart in 1984 must have been a pretty badass go-kart.
Well, that's how you end up at McLaren.
That's right.
You know how to have a badass go-kart.
Today's not-so-stupid criminal from Florida. Authorities in Orlando say they're looking for a man who appeared decked out in scuba gear in connection with a robbery at Disney Springs. Disney Springs is not one of the theme parks, but it's like an area with restaurants and shops in Orlando. My wife and I have been there. We've actually eaten at this restaurant, the Paddlefish Restaurant, which is a boat on this lake in the middle of Disney Springs. This guy scuba'd through the water, pops up, he gets onto the boat. He stole somewhere between $10,000 and $20,000, according to victims. He didn't hurt anybody, and then he jumped back into the water, scuba'd away. They still haven't found this guy.
Wow, I'm trying. So those goggles we're seeing on the front of the Batman type mask.
It looks like a makeshift scuba.
Yeah, or those cut out? I'm trying.
I think they're like actual goggles, but it's like a cutout like plastic hood thing. Yeah, but apparently this guy is not that stupid of a criminal. He has between $10,000 and $20,000 of Paddlefish Restaurant's money.
Always wondered what happened to Scuba Steve.
There we go. Now we know. All right, Murph, we'll wrap up with this. 18 years ago today, one of the great rants in college football history.
That's why I don't read the newspaper. Because it's garbage. And the editor that let it come out is garbage. Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm not a kid. Write something about me or our coaches. That's all I got to say. Makes me want to puke.
Wow.
Mike Gundy, who's still at Oklahoma State, although maybe not for long.
No, who gets fired next? Is it him?
It might be. It might be because he's also a guy who, some of the other coaches, Dabo has won so much there. Fickle is so new there. Gundy has kind of worn out his welcome, I think. And I mean, he didn't he take a pay cut a couple of years ago, or they forced him to take a pay cut? It's been a weird go for him these last few years, and losing a game like they did. I mean, they look like a bad football team right now.
They do. They're now the game on any schedule that you check off as a win if you're playing Oklahoma State, and that shouldn't happen. No. I mean, I know they don't have Oklahoma's resources, but they're still in a pretty good geographical spot there, and they still have money there. They should not be this bad. Something's way off. So yeah, that's a hot seat.
That's your more.
All right, nice job, AD. It is time now for Throwdowns.
Throwdowns. It's Throwdowns. Backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
Heartland Tire and Auto, treating you like family at all of their locations throughout Central Iowa. Check them out for all your auto needs. They are a authorized dealer of both Firestone and Bridgestone tires. Murph, you were in Lincoln. Nebraska lost yet another game against a ranked team. As of today, they've got 2 more chances to end that streak this season. November 1st at home against USC, November 22nd at Penn State. Will Nebraska get a ranked win this year?
Yes, I think they're going to get it against USC at home. They got to fix that defense, though. Good gosh, Michigan ran through some wide open holes. But yeah, I think they're finally going to get it. But the thing you just mentioned is why it was so disappointing for all those fans. Their schedule sets up really well.
It does.
You beat Michigan. You know you're probably going to lose at Penn State. But yeah, it's rough.
I don't think they're going to get a ranked win. I think they'll have more than just those 2 chances. I'll believe it when I see it when it comes to Nebraska. All right, Murph, in his first 2 seasons at Wisconsin, Luke Fickell has records of 7-6 and 5-7. The Badgers are now 2-2 after a home loss to Maryland on Saturday, and they still have to play Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana, Michigan, Illinois, and Iowa. Will Luke Fickell get a 4th season in Madison?
He won't. I think a question could even be asked, will he get through the rest of this season?
No.
He's owed a lot of money, and that's not a small thing in this era, but they can get the money together there, and I think they will. You're starting to hear from not just fans, but people who are putting their names on it. Like, I can't believe what took 20 or 30 years to build is being torn down this fast. So yeah, I think they'll make a move, and then we'll have to get the crap team together.
I hope they don't. Hey, keep Luke Fickell. Just it'll come around, guys.
I thought again, it just shows you don't know. It's kind of like drafting a quarterback. Like, I thought this was going to work.
It was such a great hire. I felt like I mean, I know they had to kind of change their whole history and culture and everything in order to fit his system. And maybe they haven't given him enough time to do that. But, man, fans in Madison aren't going to take, multiple losing seasons in a row. And, yeah, it felt like such a good hire. I was worried when they hired him, and now I hope they keep him forever because it's just not
well, you're transparent.
I will say I schadenfreudenly, is that a word, listened to a couple of Wisconsin post-game podcasts this weekend.
Their version of Instant Iowa?
Yeah.
Instant Wisconsin.
Exactly. It was fun.
Fire Fickell!
Oh, my God, we suck. We're awful. Yeah, it was a good time. All right, Murph, my son started fifth grade band, so we now have a trumpet in the house. What's the worst instrument to have a kid trying to learn in your house?
Oh, okay. This is a good question. We had this in our house with AJ. He was in the band. He was in the Roosevelt marching band, and he played this instrument. So his learning about Charlie's age was brutal.
Yeah.
I mean,
this was my last choice for an instrument when Charlie was saying he wanted to be in band. I was like, anything but trumpet.
But I think the drums are worse. I mean, because that just is so much noisier, and you immediately are reminded someone who can play the drums versus someone who can't. And the instinct is just start banging on everything. And it sounds like firecrackers are going off in your house. Because that's a veteran move. I don't know if you've done it with any of your brother's kids, but I used to do this. I used to do this with my sister. Like, when she had kids and I was still single, I'd, buy her kids like a drum kit or something really noisy. I remember got something called the Garbage Gobbler. It was the loudest truck I've ever heard. And she would just get annoyed. Like, oh, come on, I know what you're doing.
What a dick.
Yeah. So I shouldn't have made fun of Johnny Bench when I was a kid.
That's Throwdowns.
All right, AD, again, lean in and pay attention if you want to go to the Oktoberfest, the original one coming up this weekend. You send your Grimaldi's fan photos to Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com. You probably know that by now. And we pick a $50 gift card winner each Friday. But right now, if you go to the Grimaldi's location in Ankeny at the District at Prairie Trail, which is where the Oktoberfest is this Friday and Saturday, buy a large pizza and you'll receive a ticket to the original Oktoberfest. So you buy a large pizza, again, just the Ankeny location, District at Prairie Trail, and that ticket, that's a 2-day admission and the first drink and a glass mug. So you get that. The Oktoberfest at Prairie Trail is 3 to midnight Friday, noon to midnight Saturday. The ticket's value is $25, and it does work for both days. So District at Prairie Trail.
There you go. That's fantastic.
Time for the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day, and we call it the AD Squared.
Yeah, it's powered by Game Day Men's Health, and shout out to our buddy Chad Lysico, who has credited Game Day with really changing his life. He's in his 50s. He said he feels like he's in his 20s. And this weekend, for the first time in his life, he ran a half marathon. And he credits Game Day with getting him ready to do this. And
wow.
So shout out to Chad. That's awesome for him. He's been talking about it on Legends and Listeners kind of leading up to it. He was getting a little anxious last week. He had to fly out to Rutgers and then fly all the way back on Saturday and get ready for this race yesterday. But he was able to do it through the help of Game Day. So, hey, if you have a goal in your mind of something you want to do like this, Game Day can help you out. Find them in Ankeny, right there in Prairie Trail. Hey, go to Game Day, then go get a pizza at Grimaldi's. Go to Oktoberfest.
Get your ticket.
Yeah, you got it all. You got it all right there.
Chad looks pretty lean. Toned. Did the arms look pretty toned there as he's running? Yeah, looked
incredible.
Looked good. All right. Well, congratulations.
I've never been that skinny. Not one day in my life.
Yeah, you're at Game Day. I don't see you running half marathons.
No comment. With some open college football jobs, Matt Campbell's name will be tossed around. So last night, Murph, you reassembled the crap team.
All right, thank you for coming back to work so quickly.
It's Sunday.
I know, I'm sorry, but we have a verified Matt Campbell rumor.
What is it?
Campbell to UCLA. That is a bad job. Can you verify a rumor? How do you verify a rumor? We have a verified rumor.
Verified rumor.
We probably need to be reminded of the absurdity of rumors sometimes. We've got a confirmed rumor. Doesn't really even make sense. Our Quickie Poll results are presented by WCI Pools and Spas.
Do you have Peacock streaming? 53% say yes, 47% say no. I'm honestly surprised it's not more on the yes side, just because most Hawkeye fans have had to get this over the years because so many Big Ten games, especially basketball games, are on it. Maybe people subscribe and unsubscribe. We use it a lot to watch, like we'll watch reruns of The Office or Parks and Rec, that kind of thing. But it is good to have for when you need it, like this Saturday, big game against Indiana. Reminder again, that is on Peacock and only on Peacock. It's the only place you're going to see it.
Yeah, Paul Burmeister and Phil Simms on the call. That's pretty cool. It was great to have.
Yeah,
Paul
cool
on the
story
show
about
today.
them too. Like that's awesome for Paul that he gets to.
That was a great story.
That was.
He's
that was
like,
a lot of fun.
hey, come over to my house. Bring some overnight gear. I'll send my driver. He'll pick you up. Paul's like, I really will come to your house. So don't invite. No,
And then
let me know when.
He has that moment right before he knocks on the door. Like, wait, is this like? Did he actually invite me?
Yeah.
Like, is this cool?
Did I misread this whole thing? He's like, oh yeah, come throw your bags upstairs, and then they're in the backyard throwing the football for a couple of hours.
That's cool.
And he changes Paul's throwing motion at age 42.
I know, right? Love to be a fly on the wall or a fly in the tree.
Yeah. So if you joined us late and you missed that, this will be posted everywhere. That interview with Paul was good. He's just such a good dude and very good at his job too.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a really big desk. Or it looked at desk. Oh man. All right. We'll hear that Friday.
Thank you.
AD, thank you. Thank you for all your help here. We may see Andy again.
Hope
We're not
so.
sure. I don't know. He's got a long drive. Maybe he'll listen to some of these shows.
No chance.
No chance. No chance. All right. Thank you for supporting local media here on Iowa Everywhere. Please like and subscribe. We really appreciate that. Invite your friends to the party, and we're back Wednesday. We're expecting Andy. We hope you're back Wednesday, too. Thank you for listening today.
Murph and Andy was brought to you by Ramsey Subaru on Hickman Road in Urbandale.